listening to Chop Talk by the fan, for the fan.
What's up, everybody? We're back with episode 4 of Chop Talk by the fan, for the fan. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan.
I'm Bailey. And first of all, I want to go ahead and start this episode off with an apology to our awesome listeners and awesome fans of Braves country for our brief hiatus of the last week and a half. Me and my fiance, we just bought a new house, just got settled in. So the past many days have been kind of hectic, getting settled into a new home. But we're in here now. We're loving it. So let's go ahead and get going. We got a lot of stuff covered today for this episode. This is going to be a fairly lengthy one, but we got some good stuff. We got some stats, got some matchups, got some transactions to bring to y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. Where we left off with the season, about a week and a half ago, we were going into the season series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Not a series that we won, but we saw some good stuff. Ethan, what did you like about that series?
Personally, I like the bats came alive a little bit better. Our runners in scoring position weren't the best, but with that being said, we were hitting the ball harder. We had a lot of home runs, and that's kind of been the story as of late.
Yeah.
Homers. I like what I'm seeing out of Grant Holmes, and we'll get into that more. For the most part, it's like you said, it was a season or a series that didn't go our way, but there were some ups to it.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just go ahead and start with game 1.
Yeah, game 1, we took a loss 6-3 to the Rays. The offense had 8 hits. That's fairly okay. That's pretty good. That's enough to score some runs. However, when you get 8 hits and 2 walks, that's 10 base runners. And when you have those 10 base runners and only going 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, it's just got to be better. And I feel like the runners in scoring position is an issue that we're continuing to talk about, but there's no way around it. We've just got to get better about scoring runners that get to second or get to third.
And then leaving 7 on. No matter what way you shake it, we didn't roll them up. We left 7 guys on, 7 potentials.
Yep.
And that's hard to do.
Yep. Bryce Elder was on the mound for game 1. He went 6 innings, giving up 9 hits and no walks. So even though he did get hit around a little bit, he didn't give up any free passes. So he made the Rays lineup earn their way on, which
they earned it.
I'll take. Yeah, if they're stepping up to the plate,
they were hitting the ball hard, but they earned it.
Exactly. If they're going to hit the ball, then you got to limit their base runners somewhere, and I think Elder did that by not giving them any walks. He finished with 4 Ks through those 6 innings, gave up 5 earned runs, 2 of them via the home run on 92 pitches. I think there's definitely some work to be done there, but I think Elder is slowly getting better at the big league level. I don't know that he's quite where we want him to be, probably not where he wants to be. I'm sure he knows he can do better and throw better and produce better for the ball club. But hopefully we'll start to see him bear down and throw better in his starts later on in the year.
Going on into game 2, we took the dub of this game, 5-4. A.J. Smith-Shawver was on the mound. He threw 5 innings, 6 hits. He did give up 2 walks, 2 earned runs, and 1 homer. And that's a little bit of a trend we're seeing. Our guys, our starting rotations, giving up a lot of homers. 1 or 2, but those are automatic runs each time. And I'd like to see that come down. His start was a little shaky.
Yeah.
It was a little shaky, but he got it together in the 4th.
Yep.
And he threw better from that point on.
Yep.
91 pitches. My only real downside with his effort out there, on 91 pitches, only 55 were strikes.
Yep.
He won't locating the ball well, and that was early on.
Yeah.
I believe, what was it, through 3 innings, he had 60 pitches thrown.
Yep.
He was averaging 20 an inning.
Yep.
And then he got it a little bit together, going forward. And, yeah, go to the offense.
All right, on to the offense. Only scored 5 runs in game 2, but we took the dub, so that's what really matters. We got 5 runs on 15 hits. 15 hits.
That's
hitting the ball very well. Still only 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And like I just said, this is something that's just got to be better. I mean, realistically, this should be a probably 9-4 ball game
at least.
I mean it's got to get better. Getting those 5 runs is obviously huge. As I just stated, we got the win, but you've got to hit better with runners in scoring position. You can't leave 10 guys on base. Grounding into 4 double plays is, you got to hit the ball where it's pitched, but 4 double plays is a lot for one game. And to add on to our 15 hits, we had 4 walks. So we had 19 base runners throughout the entire game. So that's over 2 base runners an inning, and we were only able to get 5 runs. Now, obviously, coming away with the win is what really matters, but I think it would be nice to see us to really start driving in those guys that are doing their job and getting on base.
For sure. Just one of them things, and just, I don't know. As much as I want to harp on it, we're starting to find a little ground, but it is 1 for 11 runners in scoring position.
Yep.
It's a hard pill to swallow, especially with the Braves that we know, and we love, and we have had one of the most potent offenses.
Yep.
It's a tough one.
Yep, that's right. And that continues to show going into Game 3. Game 3, we took a loss 8-3. Chris Sale continuing to still get hit around a little bit. I think he's getting there. He's getting back to his old self. He's getting back to his Cy Young self from last year, but only going 4 1/3, giving up 4 runs, 3 of those being earned, 1 on the home run. He gave up 6 hits, 3 walks, and 7 Ks on 98 pitches. And then even after Sale came out of the game, we saw Johnson give up 2 through an inning and a third. De Los Santos gave up 2 through a third of an inning. Pitching staff as a whole, not at their best through Game 3 of the Rays series. I definitely believe this was a series we could have won, but just didn't go our way as a whole. You can harp on the pitching staff here and there. You can harp on the offense here and there, but as a whole, we didn't do what we needed to do. The Rays definitely deserve to win the series.
And that was just one of them hiccup games that we have had very few of this season, where the bullpen didn't do its job.
Yeah.
As good as you'd like to see.
Yep.
And that's one thing that's been carrying us really this season has been our bullpen. And I've seen a lot of talk, internet, Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's called now, whatever you want to, whatever your social media platform is, people talking about the bullpen. And we started out the season talking about the bullpen and how there was no moves made for arms.
Yeah.
The bullpen has been the best part of our team.
That's right.
Hands down. They have kept us in a lot more games.
That's right.
Even though our record does not look good up until the 3rd game of this series and so forth and so on, our bullpen is the reason we've even been competitive as a whole.
Yes. And even though we're still playing below 500 baseball total for the season, there's been a lot of games that we could have won. And the reason for that, like you just said, is because of the bullpen. The bullpen has kept us in a lot of games and kept us competitive in those games. Now, whether we won or lost those games is not relevant. They've given us a chance, and they've allowed the offense to at least attempt to keep us in that game. But for Game 3 against the Rays, offensively, we had 3 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks. Even though we went 2 for 6 runners in scoring position, which is, a .333 batting average, when you only get 4 hits and 2 walks, that's only 6 base runners for the entire game. The Rays scored more runs than we had base runners that game. So you're not going to win when you don't get runners on base.
The only upside to that, though, is first time in this series we actually had a good average with runners in scoring position, going 2 for 6. a 300 with 4 left on base and
Only one double play.
yeah, 1 double play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of been another story of this season. We roll into a lot of double plays.
Yeah. So, I mean, going 2 for 6 with runners in score position, that's, I think, the one thing we can take away from Game 3 that was good. Because, I mean, there's always something good that you can take away from a loss, whether it's offense, defense, pitching, whatever. I think that's the one thing we can take away from that is it has proven that we are capable of hitting better with runners in score position. We just haven't done it yet.
And that just shows 2 of our 4 hits were hits that mattered because guys were on to get an opportunity.
That's right.
But that was the Rays series. For our record, it was very lackluster. There were some good ups, there were some downs, but just had to keep on trucking and moving on into the Blue Jay series.
That's right. And we did. We kept on moving. Took Game 1 8-4 against the Blue Jays. Grant Holmes pitched an absolute gem.
He did.
He went 7 2/3, giving up 3 runs, and one of those being in the 8th inning that he was not on the mound for. However, it was still credited to him because it was the base runner that he gave up. In those 7 2/3, he only allowed 2 hits and 2 walks.
And that one in the 8th, there was 2 outs. He could have finished out and got through it, and he may never got that run earned.
Yep.
And that's kind of why we asterisk it a little bit, because Grant Holmes has really been great. For a guy that's really, this is his first season starting, he really has been great and getting better with each start.
Yep.
We're liking what we're seeing. So that's why the asterisk with the 1 and the 8, because it won't, I think he could have got out of it. Obviously, Snitker didn't, or Ryan Kranitz didn't, and they wanted to go with Bummer. Unfortunately, Bummer ended up giving up that run, and it was credited to Holmes.
That's right. And, I mean, Holmes, he gave us some starts last year, but this year I think him and Schwellenbach both showed that they deserve a chance to be at the big league level. They're both looking a lot more comfortable. They both look a lot more with the mentality of, hey, I'm going to go get this guy. And I think Schwellenbach has done phenomenal. And I think we'd be talking about Grant Holmes a lot more if Schwellenbach wasn't doing as well as he has. Grant Holmes, he's seen a little, there's been a couple times where he kind of had a little bit of stress at times, but I mean, he's done his job, and I'm very satisfied with what he did against the Blue Jays in Game 1. 2 hits overall, 2 walks, 4 Ks. One of the 3 runs that was credited to him was on the home run. So, I mean, he pitched very well. We got an 8-4 win. So, I'll take it.
Bummer came in, finished it out, 1 1/3 through him, 3 hits, 1 earned run to him, but as we said, he was on the mound for that other run. 2 strikeouts, no free passes. So it wasn't a bad outing for him. No. He did good. Just that 1 run credited to Holmes. Understandable.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep. I mean, offense, we pulled 8 runs on 6 hits. 3 for 4 runners in scoring position. So half of our hits came with guys on base. And that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a team go out there and every inning the leadoff guy get a hit and you do nothing afterwards. Because if you get 10 hits in a game but you can't score them, then it means nothing.
This was one of our first games this year where we really took an opportunity with guys on and did something with it.
Yep, that's
right.
We
only, out of the whole game, out of all of our hits we had, out of our 6 hits, all 5 of those guys that got a hit scored more than likely because we only had 1 left on base. Yeah, we had 4 base on balls, so not all, but 1 left on base. And a little bit of technical difficulty there, but it's okay.
Again, just like at the beginning of the episode, I'm going to tote that one, but we're going to keep going.
Yeah, new house, some stuff in the way. We're still getting it figured out. But
got boxes all over the place, but we're rolling with it. Go Braves.
Go Braves. But 4 walks. So we were seeing the ball well, getting on, and we made it happen when we had runners in scoring position.
Yep.
And it shows 8 runs.
Yep.
We had 8 runs scored and only 6 hits.
Yep.
That means that those walks we put to use.
Yep. They matter. They matter. And whether you're looking at them from an offense or a defensive standpoint, yeah, you can harp on a pitcher being hit around and giving up hits, but you also have to remember if a pitcher's getting hit around a little bit, but he's not giving up walks, he's limiting his base runners.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we put the pressure on the Blue Jays in Game 1, and got 4 walks, which added to our 6 hits, giving us 10 base runners. That gives your team a chance to score. However,
unfortunately, we did not carry that momentum.
no, we did not. Took game 2. Took the L on that one, 3-6. That was
a tough one to watch.
That was definitely. I really, going into the Blue Jays series, I really thought that could have been a sweep series just because Holmes pitched well. Game 2 really could have gone either way. We had Schwellenbach on the mound,
and as much as we've talked good about Schwelly, he did not have his best game, and that's going to happen. It's a long season. There's never been a pitcher that's perfect. There's never going to be.
That's right.
But he did have his one bad game so far this year, giving up 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Really, it was that 5th inning that did it. I believe he gave up 5 runs in the 6th inning.
Yep.
And
5th inning.
5th inning, you're right, 5th inning. They were seeing it well. It was the 3rd time through, and they were seeing it well, and they made us pay.
Yeah.
It happens. They made us pay.
And which, even if Schwellenbach had his stuff, the offense still didn't. We batted 1,000 in theory with runners in scoring position because we were 0 for 0.
Yeah, we did not get a single runner in scoring position this whole game, and we'll go into that here a little more. We'll finish out on Swelly stats. Giving up 6 runs, 2 free passes, 3 strikeouts on 6 hits, 2 of them home runs on 86 pitches.
Yep.
The offense was not there in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Was not there.
I mean, we got 8 hits, 2 walks. I mean, we got 10 base runners, but 3 of our 8 hits were home runs. So, yeah, we scored 3 runs. But, okay, so you take away those 3 hits. We had 5 hits and 2 walks. So we had 7 base runners that got to first base, and nothing else happened. Literally nothing else happened. Couldn't even get them to second.
Nope.
That I mean, it's something else we're seeing. You've got to get runners in scoring position, and you've got to score them.
And that's been a big problem with the Braves, too. When we do hit and when we do get runners on base, it's most of the time been with 2 outs.
Yep.
It's hard to get rallies going. Yes, everybody says 2-out rally, 2-out rally.
Yep.
Well, it's hard to get a rally going from 2 outs every single time.
Yeah.
If you're getting guys on with 2 outs, it's not going to do it for you. It's going to be hard to score runs, and obviously it shows.
Yep.
Nobody touched second base that wasn't rounding them off.
Yep. That's right. And I think
the one good part of this game was Zach Thompson.
Yep. He pitched well. He pitched 2 1/3. He gave up no hits, no walks. Of his 5 outs that he recorded, 7 outs that he recorded, 2 of them were strikeouts. So that was good to see. I'm sure that felt good for him.
But the next day, that news.
That was kind of
shocking.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was shocking. I think it was for both of us, and probably
I was mad.
Not just both of us, but probably also some other people around the league. Thompson, despite having yet to give up a hit in his 3 2/3 innings pitched this season, he's also given up no hits, no earned runs, only walked 1, and has 5 recorded strikeouts.
With a whip of .27.
.27.
Those of y'all that aren't big baseball people, but y'all tune in because you like the Braves, your whip is walks and hits per inning pitched, basically. So he is giving up .27 base runners, basically, per inning.
Yep. And to put into perspective how good a .27 whip is, to be considered good at the major league level, you're going to see about a 1.0 whip, which is equivalent to about 1 earned base runner per inning. So for him to have a .27, I mean, he's done well in his opportunity on the mound.
But we woke up to the news that he was being optioned to Gwinnett, going down to AAA, and it was shocking. It was, because at that time, we had 3 guys on the roster with a 5+ ERA. You're sending down a guy with a perfect 0.00 ERA.
Now, I mean, he was obviously optioned for the return of Spencer Strider, which we've all anticipated the return of Strider. And so somebody had to go down, but
I would have liked to see one of the other guys that had 5+ ERAs with just barely a little over 6 innings pitched.
Yeah. But maybe we'll see him later in the season. He might get another opportunity this year. We hope so. We hope if and when he does, he comes out and he keeps throwing well for the Braves. But going into Game 3, definitely a game I thought we had a very good chance at winning, and we did.
Our guy
We
Strider
did.
was back.
Strider was back. He went 5 innings, got 5 strikeouts, which put him at the 500 strikeout mark in his career. Which, in his career of his 334 innings pitched, is the fastest pitcher in the history of the MLB, with 50% of his appearances as a starter to reach 500 strikeouts.
It's our guy. We love our guy.
Yep. He's going to do his job. I mean, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk and 1 home run to Vladdy Jr. I mean, either way, you lose 3-1, you have a chance to win that game.
It's not on Strider. It's on our offense because it was not a good game.
No.
1 run on 5 hits.
5 hits.
3 walks, 3 free passes, total of 8 base runners. And we were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
You seeing a trend here?
Yeah, it's been a terrible trend.
Yeah.
And that's just been the Braves season.
Yep. And our only run was Baldwin's first career home run in the 9th. So, I mean, like I said previously, there's always something good to take away from every game, whether it's a win or a loss, bad or good, as far as the game in itself. I mean, seeing Baldwin continuing to hit the ball hard. He's done that consistently since the start of the season, since before Sean Murphy come back. So it's good to see him finally put one out of the yard. I think we're going to see a lot more from him.
I agree. I've been a big Baldwin fan. Y'all know from the start. I've been harping on Baldwin's praise. We did have 7 left on base, but it was nice to see Baldwin get his first career homer. A big part that we're going to talk about at the end of this series, Ozuna did not travel with us this series.
Yep.
He had a hip issue going on that he stayed in Atlanta to get checked out. Ozuna's been our best bat this whole season so far.
Yep.
So not having him in the lineup, I think, did cause some of the woes with the runners in scoring position and with the hits. But we moved on to the Twin Series. We got our guy back, and we're back at home.
Yep, that's right. We started out the series against the Twins with a good W on Friday night, 6-4.
Not just one W. We got the brooms out, baby.
Yeah, we did.
We got the brooms out.
Let's clean up a little bit. Go for a sweep. That was big. Not only seeing the first series win of the year is always big for a club, but seeing the first sweep of the year, that's always very encouraging, especially after a 0-7 start.
Yeah.
So I mean that was
only our second series win of the season.
Yep. I was hoping you didn't remind me of that, but I mean, hey, you got to start somewhere.
We're here to put the facts out as we see them. So
that's right.
As much as I hate to say it, it is the truth.
That's right. I mean, Bryce Elder, he was on the mound for Game 1. He went 5 innings, giving up 6 hits and 4 earned runs and 3 walks. But he also had 5 strikeouts. So 5 strikeouts in 5 innings, I'll take it. He's getting his whiffs. He's getting his guys getting on the bench without putting it in play. He did give up 1 homer, and he also threw 91 pitches. 91 pitches in 5 innings is, I mean, we got to get that down. Yeah. I think we've seen a lot of full counts from our starting rotation this year, and when you go game by game and you look at the pitch count, it really puts it into perspective how high our starters' pitch counts get.
They're up there. 5 innings and 91. You're almost looking 20 pitches an inning, and that's got to get down.
Consistently. I mean, that's not one bad inning. I mean, that's consistently. That's almost an average. But, hey, bullpen came in for 4 innings, absolutely shut them down. 0 runs, 0 hits. They did give up 4 walks.
No, we didn't give up a walk.
We didn't give up a walk?
No. That's how many times we walked in that game.
Yep, you're right. No,
the bullpen was perfect. Didn't allow a base runner.
That's right.
4 innings pitched.
Yep, that's right.
And that kind of goes back to what we're saying. Everybody wants to harp on the bullpen. The bullpen's been great.
Yeah, they have
been great.
They have. Because, I mean, you think about it. I mean, if Elder only went barely halfway through the game and gave up the 4 runs the Twins scored, if the bullpen doesn't come in and they just give up, 1 or 2 here, and the Braves end up losing the game, well, you're going to look at what happened in the late innings. You're going to look at a big hit that the Twins got that the bullpen gave up instead of looking at what the starting rotation gave up. So, I mean, I think it's definitely necessary to credit our bullpen when they're throwing well, and they are. They have consistently.
And the Braves this season have either scored in the first and second inning or after the seventh. And that goes into this game. Up until the seventh inning, the Braves were averaging 184 with runners in scoring position. Second worst in the league. If y'all couldn't already catch on that trend of how bad we've been, there's the stat for you.
Yep, we're scoring a lot of runs late in games. I don't know if it's because they want us sitting on the couch to stay up later, or if they need to see the pitching a little bit more throughout the game. But it's got to get better. It's got to get better. You can't just wait until the last couple innings of the game to start scoring your runs, because eventually, in some games, you're going to run out of time. And we've seen that. There's been some times where we've tried to come back and we just haven't been able to do it. But that's because it's not because we're not getting the hits later in the game. It's because we're not getting the hits midway through the game, early in the game.
With that being said, we were 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and that all came after the 8th inning, which is why I told y'all through the 7th inning.
Yep.
Because obviously that helped out a lot. We ended up going 6 runs on 8 hits, 4 free passes, 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and 7 left on base.
Yep.
But
we got to win.
We did. We won. We got to win. And so, we left 7 on, but the 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position is what I'm really looking at here.
Yeah.
And I think it was a good step in the right direction. And that was kind of the trend for this series.
Yep.
We never once this series fell below 400 with runners in scoring position.
Yep. And I mean, took the win on Friday, 6-4. Went into game 2, did the same thing. It was a close game, but we got it, 4-3. Chris Sale on the mound. Chris Sale has been getting hit around a little bit this first few weeks of the season.
He really has. And I don't know if it's just his command isn't there or if he's pitching a little different and his RPMs aren't there, because that whiff rate is not what it normally is.
Yeah.
And the RPMs, if they're just not there, the ball's not moving as much, especially on his fastball. It don't look like it's rising as much and causing that swing and miss.
Yep.
And then the slider has really, what's been his greatest pitch has been his weakest pitch this season.
Oh, yeah.
He's been leaving it over the plate a lot, and it's been getting hammered.
Yeah. And, I mean, and to kind of elaborate on that, it's not just home runs. I mean, he's giving up a lot of hits. I mean,
a lot of hard hit balls.
He went 4 1/3 on Saturday. He gave up 6 hits. Eventually, he gave up 2 runs, 3 walks. So he gave up 9 base runners. 9 base runners. I mean, he had a whip of over 2 for Saturday. Yeah. We know he's better. He knows he's better. He's working hard. I know nobody's more frustrated than he is. He's going to get it together, and we're going to see some good stuff out of him. But we're just got to he's slowly starting to show some good signs, but we've just got to wait it out.
And it sounds like we're harping on the guy with everything, but this is our reigning Cy Young Triple Crown winner.
Mm-hmm.
He was amazing last season, and we know what to expect from him. So for us to not see what we expect is a little disheartening.
Yeah.
So we're not harping on the guy too bad. We know that he's going to get back to the Sale. That's Chris Sale. But with how our record is, it's one of those things that's just a whole lot harder to watch.
Yeah.
When we have a losing record.
Yeah. Especially when you're flipping through the schedule and you're looking at the upcoming starters and you're thinking, okay, this is probably going to be a win. This is probably going to be a win, and it comes up to his turn and you're thinking it's going to be a win, and then he doesn't throw like his normal self, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be another one.
I mean,
but
4 1/3 innings, 98 pitches.
Yeah,
that's almost 25 pitches an inning on average, and that's not good.
Yeah, and we're not saying anything that he doesn't know. I'm sure he's
sure.
He's in the dugout and he knows his entire stat line before the 6th inning of this game.
Chris Sale's going to be the first person to look at the camera and say, "This is on me. I'm not pitching well," and we love him for that.
Yeah,
he holds himself accountable into a higher standard than most.
Yep.
And like Bailey said, it's stuff he already knows.
Yep.
But our bullpen did what our bullpen does.
Again, they went over half of the game. So Chris Sale went 4 1/3. Bullpen went 4 2/3. So they pitched more than Chris Sale, 1 out more. Only gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. So we gave up two base runners.
Mm-hmm.
Two base runners in 4 2/3 and 1 run. Okay. So
the bullpen does what the bullpen does.
Bullpens dominate.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go ahead and be honest.
The bullpen's dominant.
They're being more than successful at this point. If you're pitching more than half of a game, you're throwing multiple guys in there that are going in to pitch an inning here, an inning there, a matchup here, a matchup there, and they're giving up 2 base runners. I mean, is there an MLB award for the best bullpen in baseball? Because I think we've already got it.
For sure.
I think we need a better record than 9-13, but I think we've got it.
The record doesn't show it, but the stats do, and we're not going to let our bullpen go and be tarnished with the bullpen we're seeing.
Yep.
They are hands down the best bullpen in the league right now.
I'm right there with you because, I mean, I don't think our starters have done terrible. I think our starters have struggled a little bit with getting into full counts. I think we've struggled a little bit with getting hit around. But the starters have given up, let's just say, hey, we're going to give up 3 runs in 5 to 6 innings. Well, at the end of the game, we've only given up, as a staff, 4 runs. Mm-hmm. So that means the bullpen's only given up that 1 run. Now, obviously, this is not stats. This is just kind of just an observation on a daily basis. But the bullpen has done well.
They have. But our offense is what makes our starting pitching look so bad.
Yes. If Chris Sale gives up those 2 earned runs and we end up losing the game 3-2, you look on the box score and it says Chris Sale got the loss. Well, he didn't get the loss. He was just on the mound.
Yeah.
The offense got the loss.
Yeah.
If you can't score more than 2 runs in Major League Baseball, then you're not a playoff team. And right now we aren't, but we're getting there.
But that's why we swept this series because, like I told you, 400 bottom line each game.
Yep.
Runners in scoring position.
That's right. That's right. We would like to see a little more run support for our pitching staff. We only got 4 runs this game on 12 hits, with 4 of those being with runners in scoring position. Now, however, we did go 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. We did still leave 10 on base. Yeah. This is another one of those games where I would have liked to see 7-3, 8-3 win. I think that's fair to say with 12 hits, hitting well with runners in scoring position, you would think you'd get more than 4 runs. But it didn't. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and that's what matters. However,
there was some controversy after the game.
Jared Kelnick, who is, I think he's done well in right field this year. I think he's an absolute animal of an athlete. He's got a good glove. He's got the speed. He's got an arm. He's got a good eye at the plate. We complimented him earlier this season on drawing some walks and being a good base runner at the bottom of the lineup for the top of the lineup to drive in. But there was a hit he got, I believe, in the 6th inning.
Yes, it was the 6th inning.
6th inning of Saturday night's game. Hit it well.
Hit it very well.
Got under it just a touch. He hit it. I thought it was out. He thought it was out. I'm sure Ethan, you thought it was out.
Everybody watching thought it was out.
Everybody thought the ball was out. He hit it. He's a left-handed hitter, so he kind of turns out of the batter's box. He starts
jogging.
I'm not going to say running. He started.
It was a jog.
Jogging. Well, the ball hit the top of the wall. Well, hits the top of the wall, so he finally starts to run. Gets second. Umpire calls him safe. Twins challenge the play. Overturned. He's out. First thing comes to my mind. I wonder if he hustled on that play. They showed the replay. Of course he wasn't.
He didn't start running until he was already around first base.
Nope. He should have been standing on second base when the ball got halfway to the infield because he has speed.
No, if he'd have been running out of box, he could almost been on third.
He's probably the second fastest runner on the Braves lineup right now, behind Eli White.
Maybe third. You got to remember Michael Harris has got a lot of speed.
Michael Harris has a lot of speed, so either
he's
way,
up there.
He's top
one
3.
Of our fastest.
He's top 3. I mean, Marcell Ozuna should have had a double standing up on that same play.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's human. He knows he should have hustled out of the box. He's a Major League Baseball player. He's not too prideful to come out and say, yeah, that wasn't my fault. He knows it. We all know it. It is what it is. But Sunday morning,
this is where the problem lies. Acuna. took a matter that should have been held in house and put it on social media. Acuna's obviously not been with the Braves for a while, tearing his ACL again. And he decided to take to social media to say that if it was him, they'd have benched him because they did that back to him in 2019 when he was 21 years old.
Yep.
Now, Acuna did do that a lot, and they benched him. Snitker got on him, took him into the hallway, and told him, that ain't cool, basically, to put it in short terms, and benched him.
Yep. And let me just put that out there. I think Acuna is 100% correct.
Yes, we agree with him.
He's correct with his aggravation. He's correct with holding his teammate accountable. But like you just said, that's got to be
held in-house.
That's got to be kept in the clubhouse.
Especially with somebody that's not been with the team.
No, and at the same time, what gets the team to the postseason is your team camaraderie, your chemistry. Yeah. And doing that in April, saying something like that, I don't think that's the right way to handle it. I think definitely Kelenic should have hustled. He should have been standing on second base. Shoot, if there wasn't a runner in front of him, he might have even got a third had he been hustling. But so I definitely think Acuna was in the right with his feeling of it. I just don't think taking to social media was the right way to handle it.
And when Acuna comes back, if Kelenic is still in the lineup, because obviously they're going to have to drop somebody down for it. We don't know who it's going to be yet.
Yeah.
But if Kelnic's still on the team in the majors in the lineup, now you've got to come face-to-face with a guy that you've never played with before.
Yep.
And his first look at you is going, you're the guy. Yes, you're a reigning MVP. Or not reigning, but a former MVP.
Yep.
But you're going to say that. And it also kind of boils down to, with the held in-house, Snitker's reaction or non-reaction, which is kind of what he's had a lot of this season.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. And yes, he went on after when he was asked about it and said, "Should I have?" Well, obviously, like all of us, he was watching the ball, not the game, to see that he won't hustle. And he didn't see that he didn't hustle.
Yeah, I mean, you see a ball go that high off the bat, you're looking to see where it lands.
But also at the same time, you know how fast your guy is. You know he won't hustling.
Yeah.
If he gets thrown out at second.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into some things we talked about with Snick, not on here, but just personally between us. Especially in that Rays series, there was a lot of calls made because there was some bad umpiring in that series, and we try not to harp on the umps. And I think this is the first time we've ever actually talked about the umps because we try not to harp on it because yes, there's going to be bad umps. This is baseball. There's only ever been 3 perfect games called by umps. And,
well, they're human.
Yeah, they're human. They're going to make human errors.
They're human just like the players.
But in some of them big moments, we'd like to see Snicker come out the dugout and argue with the ump and show his guys that he's got their back.
Yeah.
Because we don't feel that he's got a hold of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
We lost Wash last year when he went to the Angels. Wash was the glue that held that clubhouse together.
Yeah.
So, the first season after, okay, it's kind of a growing period. This second season, somebody's got to grab hold. And we like to see Snit pull the reins in just a little bit. Obviously, don't go out there and be, just dominating everyone.
Yeah.
But pull the reins in a little bit and say, hey, guys, this isn't cool. We got to figure something out.
Yep.
And then go out there and fight for your guys when ump's calling a strike 3 inches out of the zone.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when it seemed like every single time, what was it, like 2019, when Acuna was getting beamed by the Marlins pitching staff? Like almost every single game he faced them, he was getting hit. And then finally at home one night, he got hit in the first inning by Jose Urena. And Snit went out there by himself for the first few minutes and was face-to-face with the pitcher. He was face-to-face with the ump. He was showing his tail. He had his guy back. He wanted something done. He was showing his team that he was going to go out and fight for them. That's the kind of Snicker I want to see.
Yeah, that's the Snicker we want to see because 2 years later, that team won the World Series.
Yep.
They were a tight-knit group,
Yep.
and it all starts at the top.
Yep.
So while we do love Snit, we do, and we're not going to be sitting here calling him for him to be fired. So do not take it that way.
No, oh God.
We would just like to see the reins pulled in a little bit and a little more leadership feel like it to be seen from our manager.
Yeah. And maybe it's because when I'm around the game of baseball, I'm a little bit more of an emotional person as to where Snit is a little more laid back. And that's not always a bad thing. So I'm not saying he's handled things wrong.
But when
I'm
the
just saying,
season's going the way it is for the Braves,
you've got to step in and you've got to show, okay, we started off slow. We're getting there. Now we just need a little fire under our butt to get us going.
yeah, we're still in it, guys. We ain't out of this season. It's still early.
Yep. But going into Game 3 on Sunday, I know that was a long rant about a social media post from Acuna, but it
we felt like it needed to be addressed.
oh, it definitely needed to be addressed because it kind of took away from the win on Saturday night.
It really did.
I mean, it was a 2 wins in a row.
And then it kind of cast a cloud going into Game 3 for the potential first sweep of the season.
Yep. But, I mean, we went into Sunday. It didn't seem to affect our guys too much because we ended up winning 6-2 on Sunday. Grant Holmes again, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 4 walks. So he gave up 8 base runners in his appearance, but only allowed 1 earned run. One earned run and had 7 Ks.
He got his strikeout rate up a little bit, which we like to see. But the biggest problem with that start, and it's kind of been one of Grant's hitches this season, 105 pitches, 58 of them were strikes.
Yep.
Counted strikes. So basically, he got into a ton of full counts. 3-2. Guys were fouling off balls. They don't count as strikes in his counted strikes.
Yeah.
So he had more strikes technically, but they were foul balls on a 3-2 count, and they don't count.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to credit the offense at that point. Yeah. I mean, they were battling. They were looking to get on base, and it showed because he gave up 8 base runners.
But we just got to work on that, and we got to limit the full counts.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it was at least 2 an inning.
Yeah.
Batters were going into full counts, maybe
I think
3.
That was a good test for Grant Holmes, though.
I do agree with that.
That was a great test because that was the first time in his career. I don't know if you just mentioned this or not, but that was the first time in his career he threw over 100 pitches.
I did not, but
So,
that's a great point.
It showed a lot of trust from Snit and the coaching staff for Grant Holmes to go that extra mile, to get that extra pitch, get that extra out, get that extra inning for the bullpen, so they didn't have to come in as early as they might have seen.
And show to us that he's got that longevity to go out there and give long games.
That's right. And this was not a blowout game where they were just trying to save arms and he gave up 4 or 5 runs. I mean, he still only gave up 1 earned run. So, I mean, I'll take that any day of the week. Any day of the week. But on the offensive side, we got 6 runs scrounged together on 8 hits and 1 walk. So of our 9 base runners, our 9 earned base runners, 6 of them scored. 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. We left 4 on base. But another thing, getting away from the offense, our defense has been very, very good. Despite our record, despite our hitting, despite our pitching at times, our fielding has been phenomenal.
Our gloves have been there. Our gloves have been our backbone. That Sunday's game was the 21st game of the season. And we had gone through 20 games perfectly without giving a single fielding error up. We've had some throwing errors, but fielding errors, guys getting their glove on the ball, they made the play.
Yep. Austin Riley, not going to call him out to really get at him, but, I mean, he made an error. He's going to make another error. I promise you, everybody else on the team is going to make an error this year. It's baseball. We're all human. We all make mistakes. He just happened to be the first one to make a fielding error. It is what it is. But it's great to see that it took us that long to make a fielding error.
And to put it into perspective, we were 2 games away from tying the record for the most games starting the season without giving up an error.
Yeah, that's really good, and that's a good sign because that means we're defensively sound in making the plays. Now we just got to get a few more outs here and there from our pitching staff, a little more weak contact, a little more whiff rate, and then our offense just got to get the bats going a little more than what we've seen, even though they've done great the last couple series, and then we're going to be off to the races.
Oh, yeah. And with how many defensive shifts we've had with this team, too,
Yeah.
because we haven't had the same lineup a lot.
No.
And to go that long without an error just truly is a testament to our team's ability with the glove.
Yep. And speaking of different lineups, with the game one of the Twin Series on Friday night, we saw Alex Verdugo
Finally get his start.
finally got called up, finally get his opportunity to produce for the Braves this year. His first game, he went 0 for 5 with 1 strikeout. However, he did hit 2 balls very hard. So he jumped in there ready to go.
Yeah.
He was ready to hit.
He only had 1 strikeout. He was putting balls in play, and it's kind of like we talked about Baldwin at the beginning of the season. Hitting the ball hard, you're going to find it. And find it he did in game 2.
Yeah, he did. He went 4 for 5 with 2 singles and 2 doubles, 1 RBI, which I remind you ended up being the game-winning RBI.
And he scored himself twice.
Yep, scored himself 2 runs. In the final game, he went 1 for 4. Finished the series, his first series with the Braves, with a .357 batting average and an .857 OPS. If he keeps that up, then once Jurickson Profar's suspension ends, we might as well go ahead and just trade him.
Dang, I kind of forgot about that guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just goes to show you we've got guys that can replace him.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. We obviously had high hopes for Profar this year and for the next couple years, but if he's not here, he's obviously not able to produce. So you've got to look at the next guy that's ready to go and hope they can produce, and that Verdugo is doing.
And yes, we talked a lot about Snit and things we'd like to see from him earlier. One thing I thoroughly enjoyed what Snit did with Verdugo is he said, yes, you've been in our AAA, in our minor league for a little time now, but we know you're an MLB caliber player, so you lead off for us.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly what was just going through my mind. He didn't just put him in the lineup batting 8th, batting 6th, or whatever, just kind of a filler guy down the bottom of the lineup. Yeah. He put him at leadoff.
He showed him that we trusted him.
And I really hate to say this, but with a guy that's his size, his ability to drive the ball hard, put it in the gap, put it in the seats, it kind of reminded me of Kyle Schwarber leading off for the Phillies. I hate to say that because I hate the Phillies and I really don't like Kyle Schwarber. I think he runs like a duck. But that's what it reminded me of. It's almost like that, hey, this dude can freaking hit. Go get him. Earn your first out of the game. And that's basically what Snit said. So, I mean, putting him lead off shows that you've already got trust in him, even though he hasn't played with the Braves yet. It shows that you've been watching him throughout his career, and you know what kind of player he is. But either way, we got a sweep against the Twins. Carried that over into last night. Got a 7-6 win. Should have been a little better than a 7-6 win.
Hey, don't call it a win streak.
Yeah, no, we're not going to say that. But 7-6 win, big win for Game 1 of the series against Cardinals last night. Again, Schwelly.
He went 7 innings, 8 hits, no free passes.
Yep.
Not a single walk, 2 earned runs, 3 runs given up though.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
5 Ks, 92 pitches.
Yep.
It's what we're used to seeing from Schwelly. He was back to his normal self, and that's why we said last game, you're gonna have a hiccup game. That was Schwelly's hiccup game. But he came back and he rebounded, and came back out and said, here's what I can do.
Yep.
Y'all be prepared. Y'all watch.
And he gave up 8 hits in 7 innings, which is not exactly dominating. I mean, that's getting hit just a little bit, but he made them earn their way on base. He didn't walk anybody.
No.
So he gave up 8 runners in 7 innings. 2 earned runs. 3 runs total, but 1 was on an error from Matt Olson on a throwing error, trying to backpick the guy after cutting a ball off from a single into the outfield. But it is what it is. He tried to throw a guy out, being aggressive. I like it.
And y'all probably heard that score and said, well, 7-6, and he only gave up 3 runs. And y'all been talking about the bullpen. Where'd them other 3 runs come from?
Well, that probably goes to the one guy that I believe honestly has struggled the most out of the bullpen. And I think I say that because we expect so much more of him, and he expects so much more of himself.
Especially in the position he's in as our closer.
Exactly. Raisel Iglesias. Last night, we're going into the ninth up 7-3.
7-3.
Like we just mentioned, the 3 runs given up by Schwelly. So, Raisel comes in there. He gives up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, but he got the save.
He did. He got.
So essentially he did his job.
He did get the save, but let's be honest here. He got that save. There was a runner on first and second. He just walked the guy to put first and second on, 2 outs. And we got lucky that Arenado check swung and it hit his bat and fell straight in front of Sean Murphy.
Yeah, sometimes you just get a little bit of luck, and I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll see. I doubt we'll see him again tonight because he after last night he had pitched 4 days in a row, so he's due for a little bit of rest. But even without him pitching 4 days in a row, we have seen some early struggles from Iglesias.
We have.
Because we know he's a great closer. He's been a great closer for us in the past. He's done very well at times. And I kind of relate his early struggles to Chris Sale a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he just seems like he's not comfortable. He's getting hit a little bit.
I agree, but like I told you today, we really don't have the luxury of giving him time to go out there and give up those. We're a losing ball club right now, trying to get to a winning ball club. So we don't have that luxury right now. And yes, we're trying to get there because our bats are warming up. 7 runs on 8 hits last night. Saw the ball very well with 5 walks. Did great with runners in scoring position, going 2 for 5 with only 4 left on base.
Yep.
So if our bats keep waking up and we can keep putting runs on the board, fine. But again, we got to get the saves when we can get them and not give us heart attacks watching the game.
That's right. I think I've had 3 this season.
Yeah, and
undocumented, of course.
And maybe we send him down just to get a little rehab. Bring Zach Thompson up. Let him close. Let Hernandez close. Me and you talk. You're becoming a huge Hernandez fan.
Yeah, I've been a very big Hernandez fan so far. And like I mentioned earlier about me being a very passionate and emotional player or emotional person around the game, that's what Hernandez brings to the table. You saw him the other night. He gets the out in the inning. He's slapping his glove. He's jumping up and down. He's excited. That's what I want from a closer. And I'm not saying Iglesias doesn't do that because he does. When he does his job, he's very emotional and he's very thankful for his opportunity to be in the position he's in. But I would like to see him more in like a middle relief position. Put him in earlier in the game to give him a little more pressure. Say, hey, this is your time to show us what you've got. Go out there, hold this lead for this inning. Hold this lead for 2 innings. Show me you can not only get 3 outs, but show me that you can hold this offense. That's what you want from a closer because that's what a closer is essentially. Yeah. Do we see a little switch in the bullpen a little bit, put somebody else in a closer position, or do we give Iglesias a little more time to kind of figure his stuff out?
Yeah.
But
I think personally, we go in a different route for right now until we get above 500.
Yeah.
And then maybe, but that brings our record, speaking of 500 ball club, we're 4 games back of it at 9-13 right now.
That's right. And so since the 0-7 start, we are 9-6.
Yes.
9-6. So that's a 600 winning percentage.
And as of right now, we are 5-1 at home.
Are we 5-1?
Yes. The only game we've lost was the no, I'm sorry. We are 7-2. I forgot about the Phillies series. That's on me.
Yeah.
We've lost 1 to the Marlins, 1 to the Phillies.
That's right.
Went 1-1 with the Marlins because that game got
that's right. Won the series against Phillies and swept Twins. So we're doing good at home, but we've lost 11 games on the road. However, again, 7 of those were the 0-7 start to the year. I think that's going to be a trend the rest of the year is that very dreadful start.
Yeah.
If the Braves don't make the postseason or if they lose the division by 2 games, the first thing you're going to hear is the 0-7 start. That's going to be the first thing that comes to my mind. It's not going to be a random game in July that we lost in extra innings. It's going to be that 0-7 start. I mean, let's be real. That's what you're going to think about, and that's because we expect more of this team. You expect them to win more games.
But at least it was early enough in the season that we've been able to somewhat turn it around, and we have, like you said. Past that, we're a winning ball club.
Yeah, and not just as a team, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of individuals really start to play better. Austin Riley has turned it around. He was at one time batting a whole lot less than his weight, and now he is batting a solid 283 through the seventh inning of tonight's game, game 2 with the Cardinals, tied 4-4. It's going to go down a little bit. He just grounded out Arenado. Excuse me.
Another throwing error.
Well, it's going to go down a little bit because he just got on an error. But either way, he's got 2 hits tonight. He's hitting the ball well. We're loving to see it. Marcell Ozuna batting .323.
That's why I said what I said earlier with the Blue Jays series, not having him. He's been a crucial part of our batting order.
Yep. He's been very, very good. Not just hitting the ball with that plus 300 batting average, but he's gotten walked a lot.
Oh, he has seen.
So he's not just hitting the ball well; he's seeing the ball very well.
He is really taking his chase right now.
Yep.
And talking about getting a guy back, Sean Murphy. Good gosh. 39 at-bats going into Game 2 of the Cardinal series. He has 5 home runs.
He hit one tonight.
I think he did hit one.
Yeah, he did hit
So he's got 6 home runs now, but going back
probably 42, 43 at-bats.
But
so, yeah.
Going back to this, 5 home runs and 39 at-bats. Second on the team, only behind Olsen with 6, and half the amount of at-bats. Yep. If he continues this trend, and it kind of looks like he's going to, he's on pace to hit 76 homers this season.
Yep.
And
well, he just got one of them.
Yeah. And me and you talked a lot this offseason with Darno, obviously.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, we're getting rid of a bat. And I think that was a kind of just a trend around Braves country.
Yeah.
And I think he heard it, and he said, watch me.
Yeah.
And he has shown it.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Watch me.
Yeah. But, I mean, not just Murphy, not just Ozuna, not just Austin Riley, but the offense is continuing to climb game by game. I really think it's just a matter of time before we see the Braves back in true contention. Yeah. I mean, the Mets are playing really good. The Phillies, they're only a few games above 500, so the division is definitely still in reach. We're still very early in the year, but we're only 6.5 games back going into tonight's game, so it's only a matter of time. I think we're gonna see a lot more wins. We're gonna see a lot more competition.
Speaking of competition, I think somebody's won a competition, and that's Nick Allen with the shortstop spot.
In my book, yes.
He has got a lot more starts than Arcia has.
Yep.
He's starting just about at least 2 games in the 3-game series.
Yep.
So he's won that job, we believe. Yep. He's hitting the ball great. Going into the night, he had a .250 batting average.
Yep.
I mean, it's come down a little bit, but, this is going to happen. But his glove has been great.
Yeah.
He has been great out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, batting .250, that's essentially 1 for every 4 at-bats he's getting a hit.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, anybody in the lineup is getting 4 at-bats that night. So he's averaging almost 1 hit per game if you break it down in numbers of getting 4 at-bats every game. So he's doing his job. He's getting on base. He's hitting the ball well. In my opinion, he is. I think you're still going to see Arcia get some starts. I think you're still going to see the shortstop battle go on for a little bit, even though Allen might get a little more playing time. I think it's still going to go on for a little bit, and you never know. You might see Arcia get moved over in a trade. You may even see Nick Allen get moved over in a trade if they're thinking of picking up a shortstop near the trade deadline. If Nick Allen has played well, he might be the guy they trade, because if he's produced, he's shown other teams that he's capable of playing at this level.
It's a waiting game at this point. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
And while we've had a lot of highs to talk about here at the end, we do have one low to talk about, and that is Spencer Strider going back on the IL due to a hamstring strain.
Yeah, I feel like this is deja vu.
Yeah, it really is. They've only got him on the 15-day IL for now, but
it was backdated a few days.
But his timetable is still to be determined. So I want to be optimistic and say we're going to have him back, but let's not be surprised if it gets pushed to the 60-day IL.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared for it, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to rush him back. I mean, just like with Joe Jimenez, you don't want to rush him back and think, oh, we've got to have him in the rotation to win. We've won 9 games without Strider.
And
He's only started 1 game, and that 1 game he took the loss.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have to have him to be competitive. I mean, obviously we want him back. He's definitely a catalyst for the pitching staff, but you don't want to rush it. Just keep playing 500 ball. Keep getting the win column up. Just wait for these guys to get healthy. You're going to see the totally different Braves team come July, August, and September.
And I really think here shortly we're going to be over a 500 ball club.
I hope so.
If the trend keeps going.
I hope so. I think I did the math today. If we win, 6 of our last 8, 6 of our next 8, including tonight, we'll finish April with a 500 win percentage. That's with an 0-7 start. So we may not see 500 by the beginning of May, but I think we'll be very close. So thank y'all for listening. We'll be back shortly.
This is going to be a little bit of a lengthy one for y'all. We had to put a lot of series in. Like we said, kind of some stuff going on personally that had to push back some things, but everything's good now. We should be back on track. Some more constant uploads and a little bit shorter episodes.
That's right. All right. Well, that's all we got. We appreciate it, guys. We'll looking forward to the next episode.